Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone, and thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Dr. Roberto Fumagalli. I'm a philosopher and a senior lecturer based at King's College London. Tonight, I would like to share with you 4 key lessons about change that draw on a life-changing bet I made during my university studies. So during my previous life, my previous student life, I was taking economics courses at Bocconi University, a top-level business school in Milan. I was doing quite well, high grades, lots of praise from friends and families, potential good opportunities opening up in consulting and finance. However, deep beneath the surface, my old passion for philosophy was burning under the ashes. And so I faced a tough choice, we could say a tough dilemma. Either continue along the financially secure and prestigious path that I was building for myself, or actually risk it all for a passion with much less certain professional prospects. One day, a day I still vividly remember, I decided to make a very critical bet with my parents, a bet that would change the course of my life. The deal in itself was very simple. I would move from Milan here to London to take a master course in philosophy at the LSE. If my final grades at the end of that year were just a disaster or barely average, I would just stay, go back to Italy for a career in econ, end of the experiment. However, if my grades were good enough, actually, to enter the LSE PhD program in philosophy, well, then my parents would actually financially support all my doctoral studies at the LSE. The rest is history. However, as you may imagine, the decision to change country, language, discipline, all together, all in a single year, was not without difficulties. In fact, looking back, the first few months at the LSE were actually quite challenging for me. I mean, my English wasn't fluent at all. My first few essays came back to me covered in red grades. I thought I was a genius in philosophy, and reality was correcting me quite quickly. And I was missing my friends and family really a lot. That challenging time has taught me 4 different lessons about change that I'd like to share together with you tonight. So let's start together with the first lesson, the value of friction. Change frequently starts with friction, with those uneasy moments where what we believe about ourselves and about our life are actually challenged or even disconfirmed by experience. When that happens, our own doubts, including self-doubts, is not evidence of weakness, but rather is a signal of a hidden potential that can spark great transformations. This lesson has really greatly informed my own teaching, where I often politely challenge my own students, some of which are here with us tonight, to kind of challenge their own intuition, their own perspective, their deep-seated kind of views, so as to grow together in empathy and resilience. Second lesson, listen to yourself. True personal transformation does not magically begin with action. It often begins with discerning our own inner voices, with pondering the meaning of the choices we have made and appreciating as well the roads that we have not taken. Listening to ourselves can be quite hard and does not necessarily in itself make change any easier. However, it can inform our reflection and can equip or even enable us to effect meaningful change. This lesson has profoundly shaped the way I mentor my own students by encouraging them to really trust their own abilities, to find a hidden path within themselves, to discover their own vocations. Third lesson, forgive yourself. Every decision to change carries some risks. It may be the risk of failing, the risk of being misunderstood, the risk of disappointing others, or even ourselves. However, forgiving yourself is not cheap indulgence, but rather a crucial moment of reckoning, which is a pivotal part of our journey and a powerful call to try again better. This lesson really has saved me on countless occasions in my own professional life. You can think of some rejected papers, some work-related disappointment or misunderstanding, or some unsuccessful grants applications. 4th lesson, treasure. Sometimes our decisions to change and our processes of change lead to success. It may be some sorts of memorable achievement, a new sense of purpose for us, or a more joyful way of being ourselves. In the case on the small picture you see over there on the screen, it's actually the profound joy for me of being back at the business school in Milan, the business school where everything had started for me, as a professional philosopher, eager to actually help current days economic students make their own decisions and actually share together with them the knowledge I gained through my own academic journey. So, giving ourselves permission to change is a valuable opportunity to discover better versions of ourselves and find new ways of enriching the lives of those we encounter and the people we love. Looking back in time, at that day where I made that risky bet with my parents, that bet was not really a bet about grades. That bet was really about who I might become in the future. It was a bet on myself. So let me ask you at the end of my brief talk tonight, if you were to make that bet today, a bet on your own potential, a bet on your personal growth, a bet on your next chapter, what would that bet be for you? Thank you.